Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome back to the portfolio. Welcome back to the channel. As I do with every video, I want to start off by saying thank you to all the supporters, all the subscribers, all the viewers, everyone showing the channel so much support. Immensely appreciate that. If you guys do enjoy the content, if you guys like the video series, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And if you guys are new to the channel, if there's a particular video you guys want seen posted on the channel, please let me know in the comment threads down below, and I'll do my best to get out a video for you guys. For today's video, let's take a look at all of the options contracts for this week. Tomorrow is a holiday for the stock market. There's no trading. So I thought I'd do this a little bit early today and go through all of the options contracts for week 13 of 2021. As you can see here on screen, I had 4 contracts. The contracts were with Apple, AAPL, CGC Canopy Growth, and 2 contracts with Tesla, TSLA. And for this week, I have both call and put contracts on the portfolio. Let's take a look at Apple here. This is the first contract, a $122 call contract. If you guys remember from my prior videos with regards to selling off contracts, a call contract, I have to sell off the stock if the price gets above the strike price. For this particular stock, Apple, the strike price is $122. So if the price gets above $122, I'll be required to sell off at $122. And as you can see on the bottom of the screen there, on the bottom left, the current share price is $122.96. So this most likely will execute, which is fine because I definitely want to get out of some of the holdings in Apple in the portfolio. But again, an Apple AAPL $122 call contract. If we take a look here, 10 contracts. Each contract is 100 shares. So essentially 1,000 shares of this will be traded this week. And on the bottom there, that 122 call, 4/1 for $1,040. Again, the expiration date 4/1 is today. Tomorrow is the stock market holiday, so no trading tomorrow. So essentially this will execute today. The contract will not expire. Most likely will get assigned because again, the price of the stock, as you can see in the bottom left, is $123 and this is $122. So I'll sell off at $122. Again, receiving $1,040 for this contract. So that is the first contract here with Apple AAPL. The second contract here is with CGC Canopy Growth, the $32 put contract. This is a little bit different than the call contract. For this one, if the price gets below the strike price of $32, I'll have to buy this particular stock instead of sell off as with the call contract. You can currently see down in the bottom left there, the share price is $32.06. So this is very close to that. Again, if it gets below 32, I'll be required to buy CGC at $32, that strike price. You can see the current contracts there at -20, meaning I sold off 20 contracts. Each contract is 100 shares, so 2,000 shares. If we go to the bottom here, you can see I received $640 for this $32 put sell 4/1, which expires today. Again, 20 contracts, each share at 32 cents times 2,000 shares. That comes up to $640. Again, each contract is 100 shares. So that's my Canopy Growth put contract. Now I have a couple Tesla contracts here, both calls. Again, if the price gets above the strike price, $640 for this one, $645 for the other one, I'll be required to sell Tesla off at those prices. And again, you can currently see the share price in the bottom left at $661.51. So most likely these will both execute as well, which is okay because I definitely want to get out of some of the position I have with Tesla as well. You can see for this one, the 640 call, 1 contract. On the bottom, you can see the premium received here, $1,000, $10 per share, 1 contract, 100 shares. Again, the 640 call sell on 4/1. And the last contract here is another Tesla call contract, $645. If the price gets above $645, I have to sell off at $645. If we go down here, 1 contract, again, -1, meaning that I sold off the contract. And on the bottom here, I received $619, $615 per share, 1 contract, 100 shares, 645 call sell 4/1. So those are all of the contracts for this week. 645 call on the bottom, 640 call, both of Tesla, and then CGC moving up the chart there, $32 put, and AAPL 122 call. You can see that it's a little bit later in the trading session here. Now we can see a black background to the portfolio. That means the trading session for today is over. You can also see all of those call contracts have disappeared. So let's go through and see exactly what happened with all these contracts again with the AAPL contract, CGC Canopy Growth contract, TSLA, Tesla contracts at $640 and $645. So let's go ahead and scroll down first to the Tesla contract. And again, I wanted to get out of some of this, so I put in very aggressive price points in hopes of selling off some of the contracts. You can see currently I have 200 shares Let's go down to the history here, because I did go ahead and buy a few more shares to round out at 400 shares prior to today's session. You can see that market buy in the middle there, March 29th, 39,524.37. Went ahead and bought Tesla at 608.07, 65 shares, just so I had an even 400 shares so I could do all of these contracts. When you do sell off contracts, they are for 100 shares per contract. You can't trade in fractions of that. You can only trade in 100 multiples. So that's why I went ahead and bought 65 more shares of Tesla at 608, which is very good because it's now trending up to 660 today. Again, 2 call contracts for 640 and 645, since it's now 660 for today's trading. I sold off 200 shares. Again, you can see I have 200 currently. I had 400, but I still have a sizable market value, 132,000. And again, I should have kind of pointed this out in the history as well. We can see that these contracts were assigned, meaning I sold off, again, that Tesla call 645 at the top, I sold off for 64,500. Again, each contract is 100 shares, so that is 64,500. And the other one here, 640, sold off 100 shares at $640, 64,000 for that one. So I did lose a little bit on a swing trade, but again, I had to be aggressive because I definitely wanted to sell some of these shares off. I just had too much concentration in Tesla. Let's continue down here. Let's go to the Apple contract. Again, I had a high concentration in the portfolio of Apple, so let's go ahead and take a look at that one. I went a little bit too far here. Here are the shares. Currently I have 1,000 shares. Prior to trading, I had 2,000. You can see here it ended the day at 122.93, so that 122 call I also sold off. Let's go ahead and take a look at the history to go through that with you guys as well. So we can see here all history. Let's open that up for a more comprehensive view. You can see here up on top, pending. That is that call assignment, AAPL 122 call assignment, 122,000. So essentially I sold 10 contracts. Each contract is 100 shares. So 1,000 shares at 122. And you can see on the bottom there a credit of 122,000, selling 1,000 shares on the bottom for AAPL position. Again, it was a little bit too concentrated in Tesla as well as Apple here. I currently still have $122,980 worth of Apple. So very comfortable getting out of the stock. And actually for this one, I made the same that I would have done on a swing contract, simply selling the stock off. But again, more than happy to get out of that just because I was a little bit concentrated in that stock as well. Let's go down to the bottom now. I don't currently have any Canopy Growth in the portfolio. Again, I put a put contract in for $32, meaning if the stock got below $32, I would have to buy shares in Canopy Growth. But you can currently see here that it ended the day at $32.30. If we go all the way to the bottom as well, let's open up the history. You can see all those trades as well. So again, more comprehensive view here, pending the CGC 32 put expiration. You can see it says $0 just because nothing happened with this contract. I was not required to buy CGC Canopy Growth at $32. So this simply disappears, and that $640 payment, as you can see under past 30 days, the CGC $32 put sell 4-1, which is today, simply resolved. So I keep the $640 and I don't have to buy those contracts. So again, just wanted to go through in after hours trading all of the trades here. Again, the trade with Apple, AAPL, $132 call, the one with CGC Canopy Growth, $32 put contract, and 2 contracts with Tesla, $640 and $645 call contracts. Both of the contracts with Tesla executed, as well as the one with AAPL. But again, more than happy to do that because I do want to get out of the large holdings in both of those stocks. And overall, you can see here, very good performance. This is actually in pre-market trading here, up around 720 or so, dipping here 719, and then in active hours trading here, dipping down quite considerably, 705, 703 or so, ending the day at 706, 447. So very pleased with that so far. I definitely have had a lot of volatility in the portfolio recently, getting up to around 750,000 or so, and then dropping all the way down to almost 600,000. But currently I'm happy where it's at, 706, and hoping to build on this over the next few weeks. Again, for next week's options trades, definitely get back into doing some more put contracts with another one with Apple, AAPL, as well as Tesla, TSLA, and then Canopy Growth. I'll continue to do those as well. All of these stocks I think are very good for the longer term, The more risky stocks obviously would be Tesla, TSLA, as well as CGC Canopy Growth. But this is what this portfolio is for. The Robinhood portfolio is to be a little bit more risky than I would be in my other portfolios. I definitely have more conservative plays in those, more exchange traded funds or ETFs. For this one, I want to do very high risk, high reward type of trading. Also with options trading, there are no fees with Robinhood, which is excellent. Even on some of the other brokerage accounts that I have, for example, E-Trade, I still have to pay a sizable sum in fees for that. So this is the best way to do these types of contracts. And then also I'll be doing a little bit more complicated contracts. Let's, for example, take a look at one of those that I could potentially do in the future, a poor man's covered call. So for my portfolio, I have large holdings in each of these stocks. But let's say, for example, you don't have that. You can go into trade options. Let's go ahead and take a look at one for next week. And I'll go through more detail. I'll put a dedicated video out how to do this in detail.